Hello and welcome back to the channel. My name is Krashy, and today we're going to be diving into my most recent, or the kind of Ceruledge EX deck list that I've been playing. I don't build it like the traditional, most recent, like kind of well-performing Ceruledge deck list with the Vroom engine, but let's go ahead and dive into it. I went 4-1 at a local with it. This deck is incredibly linear, but it's really fast, and it's like probably the most like turn your mind off and play Ceruledge kind of deck that I've played that actually functions, and we're gonna go ahead and dive into the deck list. So first and foremost, we have our 4 Charcadet, of course. These are our ground troops, these are our soldiers. You're gonna be wanting to go first with this deck naturally, and then trying to get those down so that way you can evolve into our line of 3 Ceruledge. So if you're not familiar with the Ceruledge EX deck, the whole point of this deck is just dumping as many energies into the discard as you can, and you're gonna be using Abyssal Flame, which says this attack does 20 more damage for each energy card in your discard pile, and then plus the flat 30. So you're looking at 14 energies in the discard for 310 for, say, Gardevoir. You're looking at 15 energies in the discard for 330. So you want to hit some of those big numbers, and that's kind of the goal of this deck. Now, the engine that I've paired this with is incredibly simple. It comes with a problem that I'm trying to solve and will actually even be better in the future, but let's go ahead and talk about it, is the 1-1 in Zoroark. Now, the in Zoroark, this is bringing back Radiant Greninja in this deck. Now, if you remember Ceruledge EX prior to rotation, it was using Palkia, it was using Radiant Greninja. The trade ability is you may discard a card from your hand in order to use this ability. Once during your turn, you may draw 2 cards. This digs you out of Ionos, it gets you to your draw supporters, it helps you just support yourself in the game, it puts energies in the discard. This is a phenomenal engine to go along with Zoroark, or with Ceruledge. The biggest issue is that 2-cost retreat cost, and we're going to talk about that here in a little bit. Now, next, go ahead and slide these out of the way. Next, we have very important support Pokemon, the 2 Squawkabillies. I played this list with 1. You can get greedy with it, but if you prize it, you're going to lose. You're gonna go too slow. It does not feel good. You need it for the Squawk and Seas. If you're not familiar with Squawk and Seas, once during your first turn, you may discard your hand and draw 6 cards. So this just helps you see hand dump, helps you get more energies in the discard, helps you kind of churn through the deck to get what you're looking for. And then the last supporter Pokemon, Fezandipiti. You guys understand the flip the script. Once during your turn, if any of your Pokemon were knocked out during your opponent's last turn, you may draw 3 cards. This also gets you out of Iono, gets you to your draw supporter, gets you to your hand dumps, things of that nature. Now, our supporter counts, we go straight into 4 Carmine. We're going 4 Carmine. I'll go ahead and show the rest. 3 Research, because we're trying to go first. So if you're not familiar, Carmine is a supporter that you can play on turn 1. If you go first, you may use this card during your first turn, discard your hand, and draw 5 cards. So you're trying to get a nice hand that gets you a Squawkabilly and a Carmine, and then, of course, you have draw support with Research, which is basically Carmine, but 7 cards instead. We're going to have 2 Boss's Orders. So these are gusting options in the deck, very thin gusting options. We'll talk about how to solve that problem a little bit later on. And then probably the best Terra Pokemon in the game to use Briar is Ceruledge. So of course we have the Briar. Briar, it wins you games, because the thing about this deck is that you just have to set up and start swinging. You don't really have the luxury to think about prize mapping too much. You do have to think about it, but you kind of just have to take what you can get. So if you got to start swinging on that first prize, do it. Briar can save you. You can use this card if your opponent has exactly 2 prize cards remaining during this turn. Your opponent's active Pokemon is knocked out by damage. If your opponent's active Pokemon is knocked out by damage from an attack from your Terra Pokemon, take 1 more prize. So if you're at 3, they're at 2, you can take 3. If they are feeding you 1 prizers and you're at 2 and say they're at 2, you can take 2. So that's the support lineup, the supporter lineup. And let's get into our items. So to find our Ceruledges, to find our Squawkabillies, we're gonna have 4 Ultra Balls. This helps us get energy in the discard, as well as finding us Pokemon that we're looking for. Earthen Vessels, we have 3 Earthen Vessels. This helps us get energies in the discard, as well as drawing more energies. So super common, you go Earthen Vessel of Fire, grab 2 more fires, Ultra Ball away the 2 fires, grab Ceruledge. Like combos like that are super common. Earthen Vessel of Fire, you grab 2 fires, Earthen Vessel, one of those fires, you grab 2 more fires, then you start Ultra Balling. Very, very common. Now, with so much hand dump, we have 3 Night Stretchers because you are going to inevitably dump away your Zorua, your Zoroark, or your Ceruledges. You have to have some kind of recovery for it. And I'll go ahead and show this with it as well, the 1 of Super Rod. The 1 of Super Rod, super, super important. Sometimes I dump away like 2 or 3 of my Ceruledges early. You gotta get to that Super Rod, or you gotta get to those Night Stretchers. So super, super important. Now, like I said, thin line for gusting. We only have the 2 bosses orders, and we only have the 1 Briar. You have to account for the fact that this deck is going to dump away cards that you don't want to get rid of, so you got to get some recovery. So we have the Super Rod, we have the 2 Pal Pads. This is mostly to bring back Briars and bosses. Every now and then I'll bring back a Carmine too, or a Research if it's really early. To help us get to some of these supporters, we want the Pokégear 3.0s. Now, these are the newest inclusions to this deck list that I've added. I've been messing around with this deck list for a while. The Pokégears feel great. I was running 4 Research. I'd rather have a Pokégear. I was running 3 bosses. I'd rather have a Pokégear because you never know when you need the supporter you need. And a deck that churns through itself and discards so much, it gives you better and better odds for the Pokégears to hit what you're looking for. There's lots of games where the Pokégear just finds me the supporter that wins me the game, so it's super, super important. All right, then the rest of our items, we have a couple Nest Balls. This helps us find early Squawks, Charcadets. You don't want to go too heavy on it. I think I cut down from 4 to this at some point. And then our A spec is the Brilliant Blender. This gets us energy in the discard. Really, really cool combo if you've never played this kind of a deck, is if you get the Blender early on, and say you really need your Squawk or you really want to get a Charcadet down, Blender away one of those cards. And if you're holding on to a Night Stretcher, especially if it's like a hand dump turn, if you're holding on to a Night Stretcher and you say you have to dump away the Night Stretcher anyways, pull out something with Brilliant Blender, use the Night Stretcher, get it out on the bench, and then say use your Carmine or something. All right, and then the 1 of tool that we're running, Rescue Board. This is for the Zoroark. So like I said, this deck has a problem, but we can kind of work on it. The Zoroark with the Rescue Board brings the retreat cost down to 1, so if they gust it up to try to get it stuck, and that will happen, at least you have an attached retreat, which is really, really nice in this deck, because now that's also a way of getting energy in the discard. So it doesn't solve the problem entirely, and the way that I'm looking forward to fixing this issue in the future is we have Air Balloon coming back. So Rescue Board will be obsolete, and we will be putting an Air Balloon in this once Black Bolt and White Flare are legal. So, and then the 1 stadium, it's mainly a stadium bump, but also works well with the deck Cycling Road. Once during each player's turn, player may discard a basic energy card from their hand in order to draw a card. It's Radiant Greninja budgeted in a stadium, pretty decent. It's the only stadium I have, so I bump with it, and hopefully that's pretty good. We have 14 fire, a whopping 14 fire. Like I said, this is the most linear version of this deck you're going to find. We're not running Monkey Dory with Luminous and 4 Jet Energies. The Jet Energies are incredibly important because in the instance that you do get your Zoroark stuck, you weren't able to get the Rescue Board on it, whatever the case may be, you're going to need the Jets to get around that. Jet Energy is also great for getting energy into the discard because, you know, you could always jet something up, retreat it. Let's say you have a situation where you have like 2 Ceruledge, 1 in the active with the fire on it, 1 in the bench with the fire on it, and you really need 2 energies in the discard for the knockout. You can Jet Energy the 1 in the active, retreat it for 2, go into the 1 on the bench. Now you just dump 2 energies. So that has nothing to do with Jet. That's just kind of a play. But this is the deck, man. The deck is very, very linear, very, very strong. I'm going to go ahead and shuffle up a little bit and then run through maybe a test hand or 2 and see if I can show y'all what an insane turn 1 looks like. Now, here's the deal with this deck. If you don't go first, that's going to really suck. If you do go first and you don't have the fastest turn, you might be struggling a little bit, but this deck can go very fast, and that's what you're looking to do. So let's go ahead and get into it. Make sure you're checking out the links in the description. Buy some top cut sleeves. These are our reds, and yeah, let's go ahead and check out some test hands. All right, finishing up a little bit of shuffling since the deck was organized, and let's go ahead and go into some test hands. So let's assume that we won the coin toss. I'm going ahead and draw 7. What basic do we get? Not Not a great hand. Not a great hand. We're going to be living off of the top deck here. So, unfortunately, this sometimes happens. We got the Fez in the active. Do 6 prizes. All right, we draw. Ooh, this is pretty dead. This is pretty dead. Well, Earthen Vessel. I'm not going to prize check here today. But we are basically praying for a supporter Pokégear next turn. And this happens sometimes. That's the only bad thing with a deck that has that much energy. It just happens sometimes. All right. We'll go ahead and attach it. So this would be a very bad starting hand. This is not good. This is not good that we got the basic with this much energy. So we would pass it. So it comes back to us. Vessel of Fire again. And my friends, we have bricked. We have bricked. They will be very set up. We should hopefully be swinging on this turn. But, you know, we'll stay in it. We'll see. Hopefully they can't knock out our Fez and we're not, you know, out of it yet. Let's draw again. Next turn, Briar. We have bricked. We have bricked very hard. Let's assume this survives 3 turns now. Maybe. We draw and we have bricked. So, it's unfortunate, but this game would be over. All right, let's go ahead and jump into another test hand. So again, I think the entire success of this deck is very much so focused on having a really solid turn 1 or turn 2. Your first turn, whatever it is, it's got to cook, man. It's got to cook, and if you don't, you're going to be very behind. So let's do another couple test hands since that one was so bad. You just got to expect that with a deck that has this much energy. All right, not bad. At least we've got the Squawk. So we'll start the Squawk. You can choose to dump an energy on it if you'd like. I don't always do that because I feel like I can get to some. We're going to Nest Ball. And first Nest Ball is going to most definitely be a Charcadet. I saw the Zorua, so we can look for the Zoroark just to see if you have it. Good to check your recovery cards. And good to check for your like Blender, your Night Stretchers. I said that, I guess. The Zoroark, Zorua. All right, and we are going to Squawk. So we'll Squawk this away. Like I said, you can choose to attach an energy or hope that you get one. I would love to pull a Carmine here. All right, no Carmine. Going ahead and Nest Ball. Now with 2 Charcadet down, this is like a good time to go on ahead and get the Zorua down because you want to get that down as fast as possible as well. So we'll get the Zorua down with the second Nest Ball. And with 2 Charcadet down, depending on the deck that you're playing against, probably don't want to leave the Squawkabilly in the active, but you might. You never know. It just kind of depends. So I could always like jet, retreat, or just hang on. So let's say it's not a threatening deck. It's like a, you know, Dragapult and we're going first. Like, all right, cool. We'll pass. We go to our next turn. They've set up a little bit. We can go there. Definitely doesn't feel great. If we really had to, we would probably Ultra Ball here. Yeah, we would had to have jetted that last turn because we, yeah, this puts us in a bit of a weird spot. We're gonna probably try to dig out of this situation here, find a draw supporter. So we'll Ultra Ball for the Zoroark because I need quite a bit. But I probably would, yeah, I don't know. Couldn't have used the jet. We'll trade 1, 2. That's unfortunate. We will retreat that to be a little bit safe. Pass. Let's say they're still setting up. Nothing yet. The jet. We'll trade 1, 2. Really need a supporter. All right, we'll pass. That gets knocked out most likely at this point. We can do a cool play here. We can Blender. We'll find a bunch of energies. 1. We'll do that. 2, 3, 4, 5. So those get discarded. We Night Stretcher back the Ceruledge. Promote, and then at least now we're swinging. So we haven't seen a supporter this game, which is like not great because we definitely have lots. Let's take a look at the discard. Yeah, so usually playing, you know, 7 draw supporters, you usually will see them, but we're swinging for what? It's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 22, 250. So we're swinging 250 right now, which is not bad. So took us a little bit to get into it. We'll go ahead and draw here. Let's say we took 2 prizes. Who knows? Who knows? Drop my Charcadet. Bench the Charcadet. We can Earthen Vessel. Grab a couple fire. You got to watch your energy counts for sure. And sometimes you just prize a ton of energy, and that always doesn't feel great either. We'll trade one of them away. 1, 2. Bench the Fez Carmine. Now we finally have gotten some draw support, and we're swinging pretty big now. So I could attach Ultra Ball these two away and go grab another Ceruledge. Now we have Ceruledges on bench. Now, it took me a little bit longer in this one, I feel like, as well. Let's go ahead and do one more test hand, take a look at it, and see if we can have like one killer turn, because, you know, the games that go the best are the games that you get the going first, you have the Squawk, you have the Carmine, you hit the Blender, all of that, you know, you get a couple Charcadets down, maybe 3, and then you're just like so incredibly set up, it's crazy. Let's get some of those energies moving around. Again, make sure you check out topcutgear.com. We are always running sales, always running cool deals. $70 cart gets you free shipping, and we have the best value in all of the sleeve market currently at $11.99 for 150 sleeves. So, all right, last test hand. Let's pull it, see if we can get a really good start to show off. All right, we got the Squawk start, holding on to our Zoroark, so it's not great, and one of our stretchers, but we'll be able to get that back. So let's do some prizes. Take a draw for turn. We're gonna Nest Ball and Vessel away a fire. So Nest Ball is definitely gonna be a Charcadet here, and we'll Vessel the 2 fires. Let's go ahead and grab one of our Charcadets. Again, you can always double check your prizes. We do see we have the Zorua, and check how many Ceruledge you have. I think checking for your like Pal Pad, Super Rod, your Night Stretchers, you know, some of those recovery cards, really important. We'll go ahead and attach, why not? We'll go ahead and attach, and then we'll Squawk it. Sometimes I wait, it just depends on what I'm playing against. If I really feel like I need to churn up some of those energies. Alright, we got our Cycling Road, but no way to use it right away. And it sucks that we don't have the Zorua. We can't put the Rescue Board on the Squawkabilly because we already put something there. So we'll do this. This is like one of those situations where like it's not great how the Rescue Board can get used. And I'm also not a huge fan of the Super Rod being in the hand. But what we'll do is we'll Super Rod the Zoroark back in, and then we'll Carmine. So let's shuffle, and then we're going to Carmine. Still have our Cycling Road for this turn. Alright, so that's the Carmine for 5. Okay, hit the Blender, got the Fez, Cycling Road, grab one, get the Zorua down, and then we're gonna Blender. And you can kind of choose depending on how many fires you have, but that's 1, 2, 3. If you want to do jets, you can. 4, 5. So you can see that's like the majority of my fire. That's all of my fire, so I'll probably take like 1 fire back, leave it in the deck, or maybe even 2 back, and then go for like a couple of the jets. And that's assuming I need to hit big numbers, because if I don't need to hit the big numbers, then I can throw away some of the other pieces that I don't really need. So, something to think about, but this is not a bad turn. This is kind of what we were talking about. And I'll probably hold on to this, and we'll see. What do we got in the discard on turn 1? We got 1, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 energies in the discard, so that puts us at swinging 250 on our next turn, assuming we can get there. So let's go ahead and check it out. So we'll draw for turn for the next one. Now we have attach, fire energy, attach for turn, retreat, and that's 270. So we're swinging 270 on our second turn. We have a kind of dead hand, so it's not great. We would have to hopefully draw into some kind of support, but we would draw here. Let's assume we'd taken a prize, so this is what we got. So this is what we would have in our hand. And in this scenario, I wouldn't feel terrible about either evolving here or ultra balling this away for the Zoroark. And then on our next turn, we have potentially a way to get out of this kind of dead hand. We do know that we put the Zoroark back, so if the Ceruledge was to die, we have Fezandipiti. But let's assume that it's not quite taken out. Or let's say it is. Let's say the Ceruledge is taken out. So we go here, we draw for our next turn. Now we have an opportunity. If we need more damage, we could flip the script first, but we top deck the research. Let's go ahead and do the research. So we'll go 4, 7, and there's our Ceruledge. There's our hand attach. We were able to get one here, and we have a lot of supporters. Trade. And actually, instead of trading, we'll flip the script first. So 1, 2, 3. So lots of our supporters. And you know what we could do in this scenario? Depending on how the prize mapping is looking, we could trade away the Briar and then Pal Pad it back in. If I had already tossed in something and like I just wanted to make sure I used the Pal Pad before, you know, that's definitely an opportunity. But with 3 Carmine, we'll probably trade the Carmine. So 1, 2. We'll Vessel away a Carmine, and that'll help us grab, I think, that last fire that's in the deck. And you can see, you know, we've got Pal Pads, we have Boss's Orders, we know we have the Briar, so we have the outs to closing the game out. You just have to, like, you know, kind of effectively navigate this low deck to make sure that you can get there. So, you know, hopefully on this turn we'd be taking 2 prizes, leaving us with 3 left, and then that potentially sets up that prize mapping where, okay, let's say they knock this out, we come up here, and we have here Night Stretcher there, assuming that's enough damage. If they were at 2, we Briar for the win. If not, you know, if that's not quite the case, if we need more damage, we trade the 1 energy, 1, 2. If we have to go deeper than that, Ultra Ball, you know, grabs us the Charcadet, flip the script, 1, 2, 3. Now we have the boss if we need important boss. If we need the Briar, depending on this turn, you know, we have a way to close it out. Idealistically, with taking that first prize, you know, something like that, we'd play the Briar and close it out. Currently swinging, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So well over 330. What, that's 3, so yeah, I don't know. What did I say? 16, 32, 350. Yeah, swinging 350 with Briar. So take the game. So friends, there you have it. This is my current version of Ceruledge. One thing I'm looking forward to is the air balloon, because that's going to help us out with that Zoroark quite a bit. I just realized I couldn't even see the Cycling Road, whatever. So yeah, again, make sure you check out Top Cut Gear. We've got some awesome sleeves in a variety of different colors, best value on the market, and some of the best sleeves that you'll get your hands on. So as always, friends, thank you so much for watching. Drop a like in the video, subscribe for future Pokemon TCG content. Be sure to be kind of well there, tell someone you love them, and I'll see you on the next video.